Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos. He's Forrest Lee as we start a Monday on heading toward the 4th of July. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't want football to be here, you're in trouble.
Yes.
Because, hey, after that 4th of July, everybody starts getting ready. Don't you think?
I think we're within 75 days, aren't we?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And it flies like, through the 4th of July, and then after the 4th, and then it starts going downhill to the 4th, which is fun, and then, of course, it's a holiday, and, of course, it's time. I've said this all along. I think the worst thing in the world they're doing is starting to practice football in the second week in June. I mean, I just can't see why they're doing it, but I bet these kids are sick of football right now.
To keep ahead or to stay in head-to-head with the other team because your opponents do it, well, I got to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And the state's allowing them to do it. They're doing 7-on-7 like there's nobody's business and going to summer workouts. They may give them a day or two during the 4th of July. Of course, the 4th of July will be this Sunday.
Yeah.
And then I think there'll be a holiday the 5th of July.
What is it? Fifth? Oh, okay,
that's
yeah.
a Monday. That's probably when a lot of banks and all that will be closed.
That's right.
And then wouldn't surprise me if the coaches give them the weekend off and come back Tuesday the 6th. But I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. You had a birthday this weekend.
I appreciate it, yeah.
You were in Birmingham and got to see your family.
Yeah, I did. I went up to see my doctor on Friday, and then I spent a couple of days with my granddaughter and watched her swim. Oh, they've got a great facility at Pine Tree up there, and they had a little competition and everything. And at 7, but I just don't know how they can just keep it up. If she's trying to play soccer, she's trying to play. Of course, swim, and she's got 3 or 4 other things. Bill Rice is entering the facility, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll wait till it comes back.
He's got coffee. Well,
we'll make room for you.
We want to bring you in. This
you
laid back.
Either way.
Okay.
This is laid back television at its very best. As Bill Rice Jr. enters the facility, and we'll get him on the screen in a moment. I was noticing here under the screen here, if you look at yourself, he looks like one round ball.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that would stop that? I don't know. No. Here goes Rice. Here comes Rice. Hope everybody's doing well. And of course, hot weather. But you know what? We think it's hot here. You look at out in the west, they had to stop the Olympic trials because it was 113 degrees outside. But listen to this. They said it was 150 degrees. That isn't hard to believe on that track.
Oh, my God.
That's hard to believe, but it is. The track is made out of asphalt, I would say, wouldn't you think?
Some kind of
rubber.
I've been reading the same headlines. 114 in Portland. You don't think of Portland being that hot, but
I tell you what, Jody, we went to Publix and yesterday, and then we met Abby for a little bit of an early supper, and Jody said, "Let's work on the flower beds." So we changed clothes. And I promise you, in 30 minutes, I was soaking wet from head to toe. Yeah. I took my 3rd shower of the day yesterday.
Well, tell us what you're getting from the garden. I'm interested to see. I mean, I know you're watering it.
I've got some. No, I hadn't had to water it because of. I may have watered it one time earlier in the year.
Rain.
But I planted some ghost peppers, and they're not coming through. And I've got some cucumbers. They're not coming through. I've got just a few tomatoes. We've probably had like 5 this year, but I don't plant a whole lot of tomato plants.
Well, don't you think you need to water it, though? I would have thought you watered it every day.
We got a downpour yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Where was I? I must have been sleeping.
On Emerald Drive. My snap beans are okay, but it's just not topping out like I'd want it to.
I was in Troy all day yesterday, and I did not see a drop of rain. Did you?
We had a thundercloud come through yesterday afternoon.
I must have missed it.
I think late in the afternoon.
I watched a little golf and went to Red Street lunch.
Ooh, I bet that was good.
Oh boy, well, that was good. Except they didn't have peas.
Oh,
You know
I
what?
know you
No,
like
I
them.
missed it. They went through it. She said one guy came in and ordered something like a gallon, which really upset me. I told her to next Sunday, if I'm in town, just go ahead and pull me some, and I'll pick it up when I get there.
One guy took a gallon.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Here he wants. I mean, doing business, and I hope she got a good bit for him because everybody else didn't get any. I got butter beans now.
I know you like those peas.
But I like peas and corn. You're right, and tomatoes and a little tomato, a little onion, and boy, I could have a great meal just on peas, corn, and tomatoes with.
You know, I've been writing all weekend on the big writing project I'm working on, and once I get focused, I don't even eat. I'm trying to think about, I think I ate a couple of chocolate chip cookies yesterday, and that's it all day.
Is our phone call? Get him, German.
Guten Morgen.
Morning.
Hey, Michael.
That's coming in from Grayton Beach, Florida. Grayton Beach,
It might
Florida.
as well be. Yeah, I'm going to call it Alabama. Grayton Beach,
and
Alabama.
Stevie is getting him on the Facebook,
pretty much Grayton Beach, Tennessee. Everywhere you look is Tennessee.
Tennessee. Oh, Rocky Top is are they singing "Oh Rocky Top," Mike?
I tell you what, if I would finally charge for parking in my yard, I'd probably make about $500 a night for the next week.
And you're probably a half a mile from all the action, aren't you?
Half a mile?
Yeah.
200 yards.
You're not that close. You mean from
God.
from Red Bar? How far are you from Red Bar?
I'm 2 football fields for sure.
Okay, well, I just didn't realize it. I've been there many times.
Where in Tennessee are these folks from? Nashville?
Shelby.
Trust me, if I was half a mile, I wouldn't walk near as much.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, but you're just think you're within, like you say, a quarter of a mile or less from one of the best places to eat down there. And are they lined up outside, or what's the deal?
Oh man, that's always the way. Best time to go to the Red Bar is really for lunch. If you can get in at 11 o'clock. That's what I always say. Nighttime's
The menu hasn't changed much, has it? At night, does it change a lot?
Yeah, it's more expensive.
Yeah, but do you get the same thing, whatever?
No, you don't have grouper at night. You don't have crab cakes at night. You don't have stuffed eggplant. You don't have any of that at night.
Those are some of your mama's favorite dishes right there.
Are they having trouble?
You know, we saw one of the rarest things you can ever see in the Gulf of Mexico. We saw a actual manatee swim by us on Saturday morning. It was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Like a giant sea cow.
Oh, me. Are they dangerous, Mike? The manatee?
No. You can actually swim with manatees. I know my buddy Blake Crow, growing up, went down to Bonita Springs, Florida, and swam with the manatees. They're, real docile, real, sweet mammals.
They killed the crocodile,
Yeah, that's right. Killed the. Yeah, did the manatee do it, or who killed the?
That was a stingray.
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 Stingray, yeah, right.
Stingray.
Yeah, a little bit different. A stingray and a manatee. A manatee weighs about 2,000 pounds.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Manatee literally looks like a sea cow. Like you can look at the face, you can pull it up. It's
Well, that's amazing.
huge, massive.
Yeah, of course.
Very rare. You mostly see them in bays, and they get in some rivers actually as well.
Yeah. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about your situation there. You have the lake, and then you have the Gulf, and tell us how you can get in and out of there.
Well, we just take a beach truck. They issue so many permits per year, but luckily my wife's family bought in the 70s, so we're grandfathered in. So basically, we pay for a beach permit every year, and we can drive either to the lake, which is on the beach, and the girls can swim the lake, or we can, just go right next to the water of the Gulf of Mexico and just take all our stuff out and umbrellas and chairs and boogie boards and paddle boards and all the sand toys and just hang out there.
So you can set up camp.
Very lucky.
Yeah, so you can walk. You can easily walk to the Gulf or walk to the lake. Is that right?
Yeah, if I wanted to walk, I could just. We had the state park where the sand dunes are, the massive sand dunes are. We could walk down that way, but you can only drive down the Peniac Street to get to the beach. That's the only way you can get down there and go out on the beach in your trucks.
What are the flag like? What's the flag in the water?
Flags have gone from red. I heard yellow yesterday. We didn't get out yesterday. We went to church, but it was raining yesterday. We were out on Saturday morning for about 3 hours.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
There's so many people down here during the 4th, though. They have the regatta, which is the boat race on Saturday. It's Grayton against Seagroves. So they'll be out there in the little sailboats racing against each other. So that's fun to go watch. But then on the 4th, you got the Great Beach Parade. So you'll have a bunch of people in the parade. They'll be giving out candy and gifts.
Now, will the parade route go by your house?
Yeah. Ollie will be doing donuts at the Red Bar. And a place down the road will be doing mimosas and watermelon and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's fun to watch. We're lucky we have both sides of the parade, so we can start off on the Peniac Street, and then we can walk through our houses and go to Magnolia Street and watch it come back again.
It sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of fun on the 4th. Now, will y'all have fireworks?
Yeah, we'll have fireworks off the bars and seaside, and then we'll have fireworks as well down in Blue Mountain. So basically, you can look to the left, look to the right, and you'll have fireworks.
And also, you can see pretty much from the pier, can't you? You can see the pier fireworks, can't you?
Way off in the distance again, but we don't even drive our truck down there. It's just too many people on the 4th. It's just
well, you probably can see Destin's fireworks too, can't you?
A lot of drinking going on. A lot of people been out there all day. You just don't want to be around it.
No, it's not a lot of drinking going on. No way, folks do that. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, Mike.
Don't watch the amazing golf tournament yesterday. That was unbelievable. 8-hole playoff.
8 holes.
Eight holes they went, and I'm sort of glad that Henry won because he did.
Harris English.
Harris English won. Didn't anyone that had the lead last week for a long time?
Well, he was the one that finished third at the.
Oh, okay. Who was the one that from Georgia that led for a long time?
Was, Russell Henley.
Yeah, I get them mixed up. So.
Well, Harris English played at Georgia too, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah,
he's from Valdosta.
Yeah, well, Bubba Watson was leading it and choked down the stretch. Bubba, I think went +6 on the last 4 holes.
Mike, he finished 17th and finished 17th. Can you believe that?
He was leading. Wow, that is a choke.
You know, the longest in PGA history went 11 holes. The 1949 Motor City Open. Lloyd Mangrum and Kerry Middlecoff were declared co-winners by mutual agreement due to darkness.
Oh, God.
So they didn't even finish it. So, hey, well, let's just tie.
Yeah.
1949, 11 holes.
Good trivia there.
Okay. What else we got going on, Forrest?
Well, NCAA baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
COVID hit North Carolina State, and due to protocol.
Yeah, NCAA ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Why is that, Mike?
Well, I mean, these guys obviously felt like they probably weren't going to be tested anymore. I mean, and you got 25,000 people going to the games not wearing a mask, not a soul wearing a mask. I mean, I just feel like in that situation at that time, I mean, these guys are like Bill says, like 100% of them are asymptomatic. I mean, I just feel like you're basically taking a national championship away from these kids, possibly. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
How many tested positive? Just one?
They beat Vanderbilt, and they only had 13 guys and 4 pitchers that day.
Yeah.
I watched the game. They had runners on
they had a chance.
base. They let runners on base in the last 30
Basically, they because of the protocols, you don't know how many. I don't know how many were positive, but it's all the contact tracing that gets you. And 2/3 of their team taken away from them at the most important part of your life and season,
Well, surely some of those players got the
appeal or whatever.
got the shot? Maybe,
well,
maybe not.
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
Well, I mean, a lot of these college kids aren't getting it.
You know what? All right, would you say North Carolina State's players did not get the shot? Is that right?
yes, I would say that at least half of them
Right.
probably didn't because here's what they do. They bribe you and say if you get the shots, you don't have to do all this testing, but if you haven't got the shots, we're going to test you. Not only are they going to test you, if they get you, they're going to do what they did to North Carolina State. They're going to do what they did to John Rahm, all because these bureaucrats have come up with these protocols that are completely unnecessary because they're in the whole United States of America. Somebody call in now. High school, college, pro athletes. I want somebody to call in and give me the name of one athlete who has died of COVID in the last 18 months.
What is Alabama?
That's from Luverne High School to the New York Jets. You can't find any. And then on top of that, you can probably only find 3 or 4 that have even been hospitalized. And then we're talking about 10 million athletes if you include all the high school athletes, boys and girls. So let's say that one or 2 or 3 people at North Carolina State did test positive. So what? They're not even going to be sick. They're not going to have a symptom. They're going to have.
But just to be safe, though, why didn't they get the shot? That's what I can't understand. They should have made it mandatory.
I just made the point that you don't.
A lot of young people don't want to get. A lot of young people feel like they're immune.
Well, I'm going to say I will answer Mike's question this way. Just to be safe, the assumption is they're unsafe. Yeah. I have just shown that they are completely safe, even if they don't get the shot.
I know. I agree.
Well, has Alabama gotten 85% of their players and staff?
Yeah, I mean, all this said, I mean, they're going to get you if they want you to get you vaccinated. That's the takeaway. But and here's the irony. You remember while we shut down football? Forrest and I talked about this, Mike, when you weren't here. It was because there were fears of myocarditis in people that COVID might cause myocarditis. So the Big Ten and the Pac-12 they canceled football. Then they later changed their mind. But it was myocarditis fears. Well, now it turns out there's nobody that's had myocarditis, and there wasn't any myocarditis threat from. But now they're making everybody get the vaccines, as we've just talked about. Well, what's causing myocarditis? The vaccines are causing the. 1,200 cases in America already confirmed among males under 30 of myocarditis or pericarditis. And that's just the ones that have been reported. So, you're allegedly protecting these kids and you're making them get a vaccine that caused the dang thing you said you wanted to avoid. Yeah. It's madness.
Let me ask you this. Would you think that Mississippi State and Vanderbilt all have had their shot?
Probably half the team maybe.
Oh, so they could easily come down with it.
Vanderbilt's got a huge medical part of their wing of their university. There's a lot of doctors that have been involved on all this. I imagine they all had the vaccine.
Well, here's the bottom line is the powers that be say get the vaccine, and can you really fight the powers that be? Here's what happened. North Carolina State had some independent thinkers and contrarians like myself and said...
Contrarians. When have you heard that word?
Well, I use it all the time. I am... you look in the dictionary under contrarian, that you find my picture. But they said... They used a little deductive reasoning and said, even if we get this virus... ain't nothing going to happen to us, and they said I ain't going to take the risk of getting the vaccine because I might get myocarditis. I would rather take the risk of dying from COVID, which there is no risk of dying from COVID for college athletes. So they, 40, 50, 60% of North Carolina State players said, no thank you, it's my body, I'm not going to get one. And the NCAA said, well, all right, that's your choice, but it's our choice to say that you cannot play in this baseball game. Not only can you that test positive can't play, anybody that was playing cards or was in an elevator with anybody that tested positive can't play either.
Well, did the coach from North Carolina State, I believe I saw him hug the Vanderbilt coach or the Mississippi State coach, so I'm trying to figure out, Now, are they wiped out? They did. He did. I saw.
Yeah, I know it.
The biggest problem, though, is NC State was totally in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I mean, Vandy was going to have to beat them twice. And Rocker struck out 11 guys, but he struck out 5 or 6 guys that didn't play all year, weren't even starters. So now Vandy gets to rest all these extra days. Rocker can come back. Leiter will start the first game against Mississippi State. They have a huge advantage against Mississippi State, who have to play again on Saturday to beat Texas to advance.
Did they beat Texas?
It is a travesty. I guarantee North Carolina State has probably never won a national championship in baseball.
They have not. Yeah, correct.
They won one in basketball. I know they haven't won any in football, probably. So we're talking about an event that happens once every 100 years in a college, and they're taking it away from them for COVID protocols. And let me tell you, in late June 2021, when this pandemic is basically over. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, let's get
I grew up with Jason Campbell. You remember Jason died, and he's an NC State graduate.
Hey, Jay, what? Wait a minute.
A lot of stuff on Facebook about it. He's definitely upset about it.
Mike, Jason didn't die, did he?
No, I said I grew up.
Oh, okay, yeah. And of course,
Jason Campbell's an NC State graduate.
yeah, I know it. I know he is. Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you. I mean, is it really
Is
it really fair that they took that victory away from John Rahm? Let me ask you: was John Rahm sick? And you were talking about the safety. John Rahm was so sick that he was leading the tournament by 6 strokes. Then
Yeah,
he was
sick. He sat out for 10 days and didn't practice a bit. Won the U.S. Open.
That's right. And then he was so sick that the repercussions and the lingering effects of it made him so weak that he went and won the U.S. Open 10 days later. So about those protocols that nobody challenges, I've written columns a long time ago saying, 90% of them are completely unnecessary. And think of all the football games that have been canceled and the economies that have taken a hit because of these protocols last year. It wasn't COVID. Everybody says, it was because of COVID. No, it wasn't COVID. It was the protocols that the bureaucrats came up with. I've read them. There's 150 pages of things you got to do. And one of them is you got to be tested 3 or 4 times a week.
That's right. Alabama was tested.
These protocols also cost thousands, tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars to do these tests and have the little protocol Nazis that are making sure you're doing all of this.
Yeah. Well, it's been tough. Let's get off of this.
All right, thank you.
But I mean, Chris Paul, I know we don't talk basketball, but they're in the Western Conference Finals, being Suns.
They're up
3-1 over the Los Angeles Clippers. But Chris Paul, because of COVID protocols, had to miss the first 2 games of the Western Conference Finals.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. How about this Middleton guy? I'd never even heard of him, Mike. That's how much
he's the second best player on the Bucks. He scored 38 last night. I've been trying to watch a little bit.
He scored 20 in the last quarter. He scored 20 points in the last quarter to lead the Bucks. I mean
he makes about $18 million a year, though. So I'd have tried to score 38 points.
Well, I tell you, that's something.
And the Bucks have a 2. Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Bucks have a 2.
This is the time you want to watch it. The championship series. Is that right?
Know that. The best player on one of these teams, they make him sit out for 2 days in the finals. God.
Is this the championship series or the?
You're in the Eastern Conference championship series and the Western Conference. Eastern Conference has the Hawks out of Atlanta playing Milwaukee, and then out west you've got the LA Clippers playing the Phoenix Suns.
This is the time, ladies and gentlemen, you want to watch pro basketball. I can care less, but it counts. When it really counts is when you want to watch it.
I know.
The first 2 games he had the most.
Yeah, Milwaukee's leading Atlanta 2 games.
But who's got the best team out of those 4, Mike?
Man, I'd have to say right now it's the Suns.
Yeah, they had a big streak going on.
Devin Booker kid that played at Kentucky that just is phenomenal. He's kind of like a young Kobe Bryant. Phenomenal.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know much about him until now, and you're right, he's a great player.
I think the only team left, Milwaukee, has won an NBA championship I don't think Atlanta has. I don't think the Phoenix Suns have, nor the LA Clippers.
Can we get Mike on a Zoom this morning?
Yeah, I'm on camera. I was just waiting.
Oh, well, okay, but you're not on the Zoom. We can't see you.
No, I mean, all Steve's got to do is put it on.
Yeah, okay. Of course, brought to you by Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, the only bank you'll ever need is Troy Bank and Trust Company. And I also want to mention Senco Drugs today, Walt and Kristen Sanders this morning. And, of course, we appreciate the folks at Withington, the Withington Group. Remember, you're in good hands with Allstate. See Perry Green at the Withington Group.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Mike. I'm going to switch from one of my COVID stories to a feature story on Mike Amos for the next issue of Troy Life. And it's going to be about how you started televising events many decades ago. You remember the first football game that y'all ever did, that y'all broadcast?
Oh gosh, it would have had to be Charles Henderson, probably.
You don't remember which game it was?
I don't. Yeah, that was a long time, 35 years. Did you know that?
It was probably you and KT Cole.
35 years ago, and I was. Me and KT did the playbacks then, and had fun. And Harold Freeman went with us on all the games at Bogey. They called it Bogey Vision, and but then from there we started doing junior high games, and like I said, 35 years ago we started doing football.
But it all started with the football game.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, did y'all do?
Hey, you really think I was 10 years old when you started that?
That's right. It was it was 85. I want to say it was 85 when we started. 85 was when we actually started doing the games on football games.
I'm sure there's tapes. I'm sure there's somewhere we can find the first one.
Yeah, and I don't know if the quality was there as much as it is now, but we just had a camera on our back, sat down in the bleachers, and started filming. You know, it was so easy. And most of the people, I'm not saying that every school was as far as to come in there to film our game, but most of them were. We had very little.
I mean, and you usually do it in the bleachers. Did y'all ever do it in the press box?
Oh yeah, I do it in the press box if there was room. But let me tell you something. You want to get kicked out of a game, you start pushing a local radio, or television. You didn't see television, but you saw radio. And the last thing you do is go push their radio out. I guarantee you. So
some were in press box, and some were not.
Well, it didn't have to be. If we got a good setup, we're up in the bleachers, and
you can see fine.
Had a lot of crowd noise. Had a lot of crowd noise.
On the home team side, he liked people coming up and screaming at him.
Oh, I did. I remember going to Greenville. We'd set up right there on the 50-yard line in their bleachers. But now Greenville, believe it or not, though, did have room for us. But a lot of people didn't. Ozark had room.
We made a mistake one night. This is when Lee and I first started dating. My wife.
Yeah.
We went to Eufaula, and we're apparently set up right behind the Eufaula coaching staff wives.
Yeah.
And Richard McBride and John Johnson and Austin Ingram were putting on a show. They were just blowing out Eufaula, and we were getting too excited. Next thing we know, we got the principal, we got all kinds of other higher ups to Eufaula, and they forced us into the.
We went up in.
They wanted us out of the stands.
And I remember that little girl that's now your wife. She thought we were in real trouble, didn't she?
Yeah, she was probably scared to death.
But now, you know what? Everything was fine because Eufaula led early in the game, and everything was fine. You didn't hear a word from them, but when it was the Trojans have scored, ladies and gentlemen, timeout on the field with the score, Charles Henderson 42, Eufaula 24. They didn't like hearing that, coming back off of a commercial or whatever.
Well, it's a great story. I mean, and nobody else was doing it. And from that, I guess, before that, were you doing parades and other local events?
Oh, yeah, we've always done the homecoming parade. That was always a big event. People didn't have to go downtown, and if they didn't want to, they could watch it right there on Troy Cable, and it was a great setup. We set up right next to the where all the VIPs sit, and it was tradition.
The biggest thing he did that everybody loved to watch, and people still come up to me and talk about it, especially when I was in college, is when he would go interview
Crenshaw
Elba, oh yeah, Elba, all of Crenshaw,
High
Luverne, yeah.
How much do you weigh? How much do you bench? What's your famous word?
Well, how did you? I mean, you had to go. What would this be on Saturday mornings?
No, I would just go catch them at a practice. Zion Chapel, catch them at a practice.
You would just say, Coach, can I talk to your kids? And they'd say, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In most all cases, they said, yeah. There's a few maybe different. Enterprise, you don't ever just walk into Enterprise and do anything. I'll tell you that right now. They walk to their own fiddle. But I have done Enterprise several times. But hey, you do Enterprise, you got to do 90-something players. But we've had.
Dad would do Elba. He would do Ozark. He'd do Pike County. He'd do Charles Henderson, Pine Liberal Arts, Goshen, Luverne.
Crenshaw Christian.
Yeah, Crenshaw Christian. Dad would do Highland Home.
Hey, we did Carroll High of Ozark. We went into Carroll High.
Yeah, Brantley, Carroll, and Ozark. Yeah.
It was a job to do.
Troy, and you did Troy University.
Yeah, that's right. And then we used to do all of Troy University. They won't. It's not that they said they won't do it, but hey, they got so many players, 100 and something players.
Take you all day.
But no, you know what? To me, I would find it interesting to know who the kid is, and see a face, and where they're from. You know, I'll tell you this right now: in anything you do, don't just have the person's name there. That doesn't mean much, but that name with a hometown means a lot. Mm-hmm. You give me a name with a hometown, and I'll tell you 10, 15 people that live there, even if you're in Florida.
I'll tell you, the maxim, I've been a newspaper publisher, the most important maxim is names and faces.
You do realize that, yeah.
You get as many names and faces. So you don't just run the picture, you got to get the caption, which we call cut lines.
Where they're from.
The names of the people in the picture.
I know, but the names.
How many times did you interview the great Forrest Lee at the middle school?
Oh, Farley, many times at Farley. Welcome to James A. Baker Field on the campus of Charles Henson Middle School, where Farley gets his team ready. Forrest Lee, ladies and gentlemen, I just gave him a nickname, Farley. But he got his hair cut on this screen, and he's a good friend of mine.
So I'm going to make an assumption here. You didn't go to these other towns until Troy Cable started giving coverage in those.
That's right. And they love it. Elba, we are Elba. We are Elba. Boy, it get loud in that weight room where we did it. And you would fire me up. Hey, fire me up. And I'm the we are in this town.
And kids would get, that would be the only time they've ever been on TV. Some of them would get pretty nervous, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but Rice, again, they're not just their name, their hometown, because now we know all Elba and all these schools that we're interviewing, we know where they're from, but you know, in anything you do, I always thought it was important to get, a guy asked me the other day, just Saturday, why didn't I interview the people on the Chip Colley Awards? Of course, I've been doing that for 30-some years, or however long we've been doing it, and it's something that people will tape. That's something right there. Yeah. People will tape and save for their kids to show it to them.
I bet you were aware of that all when you did it.
That's right. And always, I mean, I had that down pat, but I didn't do it this year. They didn't ask me to do it. I don't even know if they even did it, but interviewed
I was 74, Phil. You feel about the same as 73?
Oh, yeah, your birthday. Happy birthday.
74 years old, living in Troy, Alabama on 213 Old Ryan Street, and I'm just as proud as I can be. And there's a lot of folks out there. My old buddy Ben Beard, if he's sitting out there, he's as proud as he can be from Goshen, Alabama. Forrest Lee's as proud as he can be from Goshen, Alabama. We're proud to be of who we are.
To be an American. I've seen Lee Greenwood. I have stood right next to him before.
4th of July is coming up.
Yeah. But it's all.
Lee Greenwood played at a Troy football game one time. Yeah. I remember that.
But again, who you are and where you're from—that's what's so important. Now today, a bunch of parents will be in town for the orientation. Well, I went to orientation the first day, and I said, "Oh, this guy John Johns. Oh, nice to meet you. Where are you from?" Billy Booker, where are you and your wife from? Ozark. Well,
you went to orientations and did this?
I do. I go to orientation every year.
Oh, you're not talking about for Troy Cable stuff.
No,
just
no.
That's nowhere from alumni.
I know.
No. But what I'm saying there is,
Hometown.
if you're going to mention the name, mention the hometown, I say, gosh, don't you know so and so? Do you know so and so? Oh, that's a great team.
What
They
did
have great ball
Coach
teams.
Bryant do on the Coach Bryant show every Sunday afternoon?
He is hit and knocked down by Billy Rice at the Alabama 14-yard line, and
but
the
he would
youngster
say- he
from
would say-
Troy.
He would say Troy. He'd say
Yes, he-
Russ Wood, and Russ is from Elba, and his dad's a high school football coach.
That's
Good one,
right.
too.
So Bill Rice and mom and daddy at the game. He mentioned that a lot. You know, I saw Marvin Barron's mama at the game, and it was good to see Miss Barron. Boy, she's got the best homemade biscuits in town. You know, they talked. You know,
They talked about towns, though.
All
You
right.
associated players with towns, and the whole
Yeah.
town had pride. And that probably helped
Yeah.
recruiting later on when they were recruiting somebody else.
It actually, with that hometown, lets the
Well,
people
that-
really know who this kid is, you know, or who that parent is, you know, whatever, you know.
Now these football players for Alabama and Auburn, somewhat, but especially Alabama. And
Mike.
there's Tua Tagovailoa from Honolulu,
Yeah.
Hawaii. And
Y'all still don't know who was from Mulga. Y'all still don't know who was from Mulga.
Phyllis, the legendary Palmbach College from Morgan.
where is Morgan? North
What?
Alabama?
Morgan's right outside downtown Birmingham.
I know it, but y'all don't even know who played at Alabama from out here at Mulga. That's what Coach Bryant would say. He's from out here at Mulga.
Well, tell us. Don't make us guess.
You want me to do it?
Yes.
Colenso Hubbard.
All right, yeah. God.
Have you ever heard of Colenso Hubbard,
He was
Mike?
the defensive line, nose guard with him.
And,
Colenso
let
Hubbard
me
from
throw out.
Mulga.
Let me throw out some more. Of course, you know who was from
Scooter
Ozark.
Dias was from Elba.
Yeah, he's from Elba. And who was from Ozark?
Wilbur Jackson.
All right, another one.
Beck.
Yeah, they had Wilbur Jackson, they had
Ellis
Dexter
Beck.
Wood, and Ellis Beck. Three guys from Carroll High of Ozark that started
You had,
on that Alabama
you had
team.
Mickey Andrews too, didn't you?
Mickey Andrews, smart, Mike. You're right. Mickey Andrews, and of course Billy Knowles was from Ozark. They played at Georgia. The old Georgia.
Well,
See
who's
now,
from-
right off the bat, 5 people can be.
Who's
noted.
from Brundage? Fred
Oh,
Baxter.
God.
Fred Baxter's from Brundage. Played
Yeah.
baseball, too.
Yeah, a lot more of them from there. Stephen
Yeah,
Coleman.
did Fred Baxter play baseball and football at Auburn?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he played baseball. I know he was a good baseball player.
I think he played baseball too.
I don't know if he played all 4 years, but I know he played some.
Yeah. And then my good friend.
That's a game. I mean, that's a guy that a lot of people don't talk enough about. I mean, what did he play? 12 years in the NFL at tight end.
You're right.
You know, all right, your
and was a great baseball player.
hit me with this. Your father-in-law is who?
Frankie Fryer.
Frankie Fryer. Well, Frank Fryer from Brundage. Frank Fryer from Brundage started at Auburn, playing first base at Auburn, and he actually became a.
No, that's another Frank Fryer.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Frank
yeah.
Fryer from Brundage
No,
played baseball at Auburn and was a good one.
Frank played with Randy Walls. Had some great teams, and
Randy
Bob
Walls.
Booth was their coach for a
Yeah,
while.
that's right. Of course, no question about it. There were a lot of good players that came out of there.
And they were all good.
Alec Bowden.
They were good players, and well, I like this. Most of them, like Frank, played all 3 sports.
Yeah.
He was a letterman in football, basketball, and baseball in high school.
Yeah. Of course, I could.
What time does the game start tonight for us? The baseball game.
7 o'clock. They play tomorrow night at 7. They play tonight at 7. And if necessary, they'll play Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Who's playing?
This is Mississippi State versus Vanderbilt for the national
We're getting
championship.
back at that game again.
And if you want the tickets range from $1,600 a seat to $300
So
a seat
2 SEC teams in the national
in the
championship.
finals.
It's 7:40. We're going to take a break.
You know, Mississippi State has been to the College World Series 11 times and never won one. So I'm pulling for State.
We're
No,
going to.
I want to stop Mike with that point right there. 11 times to the national championship, to the World Series, and never won. An amazing fact about Alabama until Clemson finally beat Alabama is that Alabama had gone and played for a national championship 7 times in 7 national championship games and had won all 7 of them, going back to 1978 in the goal line stand game. You see what I'm saying?
How about Florida State Seminoles in baseball? 23 trips to the College World Series, have never won a World Series.
Isn't that amazing? And you know what? I've told y'all, you've heard me say this many times, Forrest, I've said that if you make it to the World Series, that's all a lot of people even care about. Oh, this is a team that made it to the World Series.
Well,
they recognize them even before the games start. That Mississippi State, will always be known as making it to the playoffs.
Mississippi State has a great tradition. We all know that in the South in baseball. But I didn't know until Michael told me that they'd never won a national championship.
Yeah.
But at least they made it 11 times.
Yeah. That's right, and there's no notice for that. You're right, exactly right.
Not even when they had Thunder and Lightning. You know who that was, don't you?
Yeah. I was thinking.
Clark and
Clark and
Rafael
Palmeiro. Yeah. They were both big home run hitters right there. I don't know how many they hit that year.
Yeah, Palmeiro ended up getting in a steroid scandal and hurt his Hall of Fame chances. He put up huge numbers, but Clark was one of the sweetest swings you could ever see back in the day when he played for San Francisco. He was one of my favorite players.
Yeah. Of course, let's go to we're gonna go to a commercial right after this.
I think he moved.
This is my chart from Southeast Health.
And you're going to want to make it yours.
Not because it's free,
but because it's priceless. Because with my chart, you can schedule appointments online with your provider.
You can email your provider and get answers.
Get test results.
refill prescriptions.
And manage your family's health care. You know how we all want health care to be easier?
But no one seems to listen?
Well, someone did. Southeast Health.
To get your free My Chart app,
visit your app store or go to southeasthealth.org.
When it comes to surgery, precision is perfection. The very latest technology available ensures the best possible outcome. The Mako Robotic Arm-Assisted Surgery System is now available at Troy Regional Medical Center. Skilled orthopedic surgeon Dr. Robert L. Liljeberg and his team provide patients with faster recovery and better movement after a knee replacement surgery. When accuracy matters, you deserve the very best. Troy Regional Medical Center.
Badcock Home Furniture and More is celebrating all the things that make the 4th of July feel just right. Friends, family, everything that fits our lives and our homes. Make home feel just right during Badcock's 4th of July sale. Save up to 50% throughout the store and up to 40% on select mattresses. Plus apply, finance, and save in-store and online. So shop what's just right for you at your local Badcock. Badcock Home Furniture and More. Just right.
Josh Malloy here, Mitchell Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And if you've recently been in the market for a new car, has it felt like this?
I wish I could just talk to somebody.
You just want a price? First, jump through here.
Or this?
No, I want to see it in person before I buy it.
Where are my choices?
Quit wasting time with the other guys. Here, there's no games, no robots. Just local people ready to give you a great buying experience. Come see us at Plaza Drive Enterprise or online at MitchellChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Back to our show, brought to you by our good friends at Bird Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy. We appreciate Joe Watson and all the great folks. I want to mention also that Wiley Sanders Truck Lines is sponsoring, or is one of the sponsors of the Miracle League's Troy 2 bike relay fundraiser, which is coming up very soon. And Sanders has donated $10,000 of what they hope they can raise $20,000 to benefit the Miracle Field in Troy, Alabama. And of course, a good picture of Kelly Sanders and Frankie Saris and Amanda Floyd and Jeffrey Bennett and Christy Kitchens and Kevin Baker. All these folks are working hard to raise this money for the Miracle Field. Troy is one of the very few people, one of the very few towns around that have a miracle field.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
Do you know more about that, Forrest?
No, sir. I hadn't read the paper, but I know it's.
I mean, what I'm saying, the miracle field. You heard of Troy's miracle field?
It's a miracle league.
Doing. I think they're having some bike thing going on this morning, right after this show with Truck Talk with Wiley Sanders.
Yeah,
they're having some.
And that comes up right after this show.
You know, Frankie Sarris' family has a couple of restaurants in Birmingham, like a meat and vegetable restaurant downtown. I used to go to a lot of Sarris. Actually, I'd meet Blake Crow. We go there a lot, and then they have one, I think, in Pelham now, too. But they're a big Greek family in with a lot of the different restaurants in Birmingham.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we talked about that. If you missed
known.
the show, we talked about all the Greek families that have had started famous restaurants across Alabama.
Now, I don't know if they're related to the folks that own Nikki's restaurant, but on Findlay, that's one of my favorite places to eat. It's a great place to eat.
You know, you go to a restaurant downtown, and every day they have fried snapper and fried grouper. It's terrible.
I want to say John's restaurant. Is that right, Mike? Is it John's?
That might be, yeah, John's in Homewood. They might have
I think so.
Well, speaking of food, Crow's Chicken in Brundage, Alabama.
Good.
The Chicken Shack in Luverne, Alabama, along with J. Holes in the Wall in Bryant, which is in Jackson County, and Bobby's Restaurant in Eva, which is near Decatur in Morgan County. They're in the finals for the best chicken fingers in Alabama. They were voted the top 4, and now all the officials are going to go taste their chicken. And
Crow's is in the top 4?
Top 4. Crow's and Brundage, Alabama. Patsy Gibson.
Out of all of them.
She's in the final 4, along with the Chicken Shack of Luverne.
Oh, man, that's something.
We had Joe Crow on the line about a month ago, and he said his biggest regret was not franchising Crow's.
Yeah, that's right. It sure did. Well, I will say this.
Brundage is too far for me to go eat, but
no, it's not.
Well, I guess so. You're right.
10 miles. It's not.
From Crow Hill, you can make that. From Crow Hill, I'd say up Elm Street, you can probably make that Crow's in 15 minutes.
Well, I'm glad that we got an original Crow's in Brundage. I mean, we got one in Troy that's a little different, but I bet the one in Brundage is just like it's always been.
You know, when something I want to mention this morning about a youngster that Troy's got a.
Well, everybody vote for Crow's in Brundage. Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I want to mention Tucker Kilcrease this morning. You know, I talk about Tucker as a football player, and he's committed to Troy, and of course he's got another year of high school at Brantley High School. But all he did, I just want you to hear this. All he did, he was first team All-State 1A classification, he was named All-State, and he was hitter of the year in that classification. He only batted .533, and he had 48 hits. And listen to this, in 28 games. And like I said, he's already committed to Troy in football. But hey, he might have to sign a pro contract, a baseball contract.
I hope he plays baseball at Troy too.
Yeah, he's the quarterback on the football team, and he also is on the golf team that finished second.
You're right.
You know, Tucker is like a legend already.
Yeah.
I don't want to get him a big head.
I don't know if he can. I think it's just natural with him, and of course Brantley also had the center.
He didn't want to go play for his uncle at Strong, and his uncle now the head coach of Strong, actually Kilcrease.
He is.
Is that his uncle or his daddy?
That's his uncle.
All right, okay.
I think Chad's his daddy.
Yeah. All right.
And, saw Bernie Sullivan yesterday picking up lunch at the Barn Restaurant.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Brantley.
Man, you get out.
He's a good friend of mine. Yeah. Everybody knows Forrest Lee.
Saw Supreme Court Justice Tommy Bryan. He's from Brantley. He was in there eating with his family.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Brantley.
Well,
Alabama State Supreme Court from Brantley.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to see. I ate at Red Schoolhouse. I'm trying to figure out who all I saw yesterday. I saw my brother. He was there. All right, but also Brantley.
I tell you what, if I would have went to Red Schoolhouse yesterday, I'd been a happy man. I'd drive back to the beach sometimes and go eat at Red Schoolhouse.
But they got. I tell you what, if they had peas and corn, I would have probably ordered me a gallon like that guy did. that we didn't have any more peas.
You know, we
left.
talked about it on the show, and I said, well, darn, I haven't been to Red Schoolhouse restaurant in years. And so I loaded up the family, and I said, Jack Rice, Maggie Rice, 5 and 9, y'all have never been to Red's little schoolhouse restaurant. We're going. Carrie, my wife, I think it only been once. You know, she grew up in Montgomery, and man, they loved it.
Oh, really? Was that this week? When was that?
This was about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, I got you. But I also want to mention Brantley's got a center fielder, and his name is Carson Jones, and he's also a very good player.
He played on the golf team too.
Yeah. And,
lineman of the year, isn't he?
He only batted 462, and and of course, then I look over here and I say, well, how in the world did our coach from Pike Road why is he so successful? Well, at Pike Road, they have one kid that made the second team All-State in 5A, and 5A had an ERA of 76.76 in 92 and 2/3 innings, and he struck out 106 batters. All right. They also got another kid over here that is named Clay Slagle. He's a quarterback on the football team, and he had a 1.57 ERA, and let's see here, he was 8-2. So two big time. You've always said, give me two pitchers. Well, there's two pitchers right there.
You said the Carson Jones kid from Brantley. He was the 1A lineman of the year in 1A football.
Yeah, so he's a big kid then.
I think that's Roland's son.
Oh, that's right. That is Roland's son, I bet you. Yeah.
I believe that's correct.
And of course, Roland.
Call in Bernie if I'm incorrect.
Yeah, exactly. Roland Jones, of course.
Pike Road. For one thing, people want to flee the Montgomery public school system, and people are probably not able to afford the expensive private school tuition. So you put those two together, and you got a lot of people that are coming into Pike Road, Alabama, and a lot of them are good athletes.
Oh yeah.
And then you get a coach like Coach Ponder, and he draws his own players too. Wouldn't you want to play for him if you were a baseball player?
They're building
I did make a mistake here. I just didn't mention this, but I am now. All Clay Slagle did. This is a quarterback at Pike Road who plays for
Alan Ponder.
Is he a junior?
Well, yeah, he's a junior. Wait a minute.
Or a senior?
I'm not sure, but I know this. Okay. He struck out. Listen to this. He struck out 114 batters.
How many innings? That's what I was.
In 82 innings.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, but like I said, like you say all the time, give me two good pitchers and I'll go play anybody.
If you got two pitchers, and Vanderbilt must have two pitchers, and Mississippi State must have two, you can go for it.
Spawn
Troy, when they won those national championships under Chase Riddle,
that's right.
They had what?
A left-handed pitcher and a right-handed pitcher.
Two pitchers every
year.
Had
Perez, and then they had another guy that was really
Spawn
good.
And Sane. Pray for rain.
All the Charles Henderson teams I remembered being really good, and they were always competing for. It's like these teams. Michael said Charles Henderson was always in the running, but they could never quite win it. But they all had one great. Those teams had one great pitcher, but then they had a guy. They had a 1 pitcher, and then they had like a 1B that was also pretty good.
You know who we probably do not?
Mike LeBlanc this last year in baseball.
Yeah. Mike, the guy that we probably do not talk about enough is a pitcher that led Charles Henderson to the state 5A championship. You remember that?
Yeah, Van Horn.
Paris Van Horn the fourth.
You're exactly right. We don't talk about him enough. He not only, people don't believe me. People can't realize this sometimes. He not only was a great pitcher, but he also hit two over that big wall in left field at Patterson Field.
He was a starting quarterback. Decided not to play his senior year.
Yeah,
that's right. He didn't play his senior year.
I didn't know that.
He quarterback for us at the middle school.
Let me tell you, P.D. Van Horn.
Very competitive.
If you want to give him a nickname, P.D. Van Horn was.
He ended up playing at Troy.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And was he right-handed or left-handed pitcher?
Right.
Yeah, okay. But I tell you, he was a good player.
The other pitcher they had was Johnson, that's in the heating and cooling business now.
Matt Johnson.
Is that who that is?
Yeah,
Matthew.
Matthew Johnson is Patrick Johnson's son. Went to high school with me, and
I think Chase Kelly played on that team. Brett Pierce.
You always gotta wonder if Levi Garrett would have stayed, and of course if Irons would have stayed. I mean, would Irons have wanted Charles Henderson?
Listen to this, Mike. The guy that does my rehab, and he's great. He does a great job with my rehab, and he gives me a good massage, neck massage every time I go in there. But you know what? He played for your buddy at Dothan High School.
Really?
My buddy at Dothan High School.
Yeah, well, you just mentioned him. You know,
Steve Garrett.
Steve Garrett. Yeah. He played for hey, Mike, he did the same thing to those guys at Northview as he did for Charles Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, I have ridden by in February, or actually in January, and looked over the practice field at Charles Simpson, and they would be practicing in 13-degree weather.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the colder, the better. It was like
he's about as stubborn as Coach Jeffcoat was.
It was like
he was going to do it his way.
Yeah.
It worked.
Now, one thing I saw, Derek Irons, I enjoyed going to the practices. In the practices, there was no dead time, and if they were working on hitting to the outfield and hitting your cutoff man, there were like 2 or 3 balls going on at the same time, and it was just like a wheel,
And he's already won a state championship. Has he won in baseball? I don't know.
I don't know.
Mike,
he's not won a state championship at Oak Mountain.
He's already won one. He won 2 in Charles.
Who are we talking about? Levi Garrett?
Derek Irons.
Yeah, Derek Irons, and he's won two at Charles Simpson and 1 at the school in Birmingham.
Wow.
Boy, that's
he's not
won one at Oak Mountain.
Oh, okay, but he's had great teams.
I think they put the program back on the map. They're competitive.
Oak Mountain won a state championship in basketball this year.
I will tell you, it was hard to win in Birmingham when you got your old Mark Mountains got to play Hoover, and they got to play Vestavia,
Thompson,
the team, the 5A team, Mike Private School,
Mountain Brook.
And then
Mountain Brook's now 6A.
But boy, that's a tough league right there now, I tell you. And they say that every baseball game, they have up there at either one of those schools is packed. It's packed with people to watch it.
Talking about Parks Crossing, they were 5A this year, I believe. They'll probably go up to 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're pretty good.
New reclassification that they'll come up with in a few months. I see some bike riders walking in.
Well, man, the singers are going to be on our stage in just a moment. They're going to be singing for us. A good-looking group of folks coming in here representing Sanders Truck Lines.
After the 4th, we're looking at almost like less than a month for all these guys reporting.
That's what I said, Mike, at the top of the show. It's football after the 4th of July. Far as now, even at the junior high level, last place you've coached, it gets all started after the 4th, doesn't it?
I think they're working out now, to be honest with you. Weight training and
that part of it.
I tell you, they better be running because it's going to be hot, and you better be in shape. So I remember doing that, and we didn't have mandatory workouts, but in May, June, July, I would wake up on South Hillcrest Boulevard, Mike Amos, and 3 days a week I would say, ugh, and I would jog through the neighborhood.
I rode by your house. I'm talking about the Rosenberg. I rode by the Rosenberg house yesterday, and it looks beautiful.
It does,
and of course,
I grew up in that house.
And then you went from that place to down the street.
Yeah, to North Hillcrest Boulevard.
Yeah, the one with the house down in the bottom. You must have been rich. You lived on Hillcrest, did you?
Yeah, I like the neighborhood.
You must have been rich.
No, we were not. But we felt, here's what I say about
you
my
felt
parents.
rich, did you?
I felt rich. You probably did too. I mean, we were not looking back. We were not rich. Probably your parents get kind of slowly richer as they get older.
Yeah.
But even when they weren't rich, you felt like you were rich because they treated you good.
We want to get another commercial in. We'll be right back. Brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Right now, you can join Planet Fitness for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. We're keeping things squeaky clean with tons of equipment and plenty of space to spread out while you work out. And check out the crowd meter in our free app to pick the best time to visit. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Join in club or at planetfitness.com.
Planet Fitness is open in Troy. Join now for 0 enrollment and $10 a month. Hurry deal ends June 8th.
$29 down and payment as low as $99 a month. Yes. Now through Monday, $29 down and $99 a month. Yeah. $29 delivered. Only at Premier Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Shop at PremierTroy.com. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandback Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandback Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandback is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandback Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know
We're
I'm
back.
free. Well, this girl that was did not want to speak at the tennis press conference was not free to not speak.
This is at Wimbledon.
That was at the French Open.
Oh,
She said,
French,
she said, I got anxiety issues. I do not want to speak at the press conference. And they fined her and spanked her. And then she withdrew from the tournament because of it. But I would say, as a libertarian who loves freedom like Lee Greenwood, I would say if she didn't want to speak at that press conference, she don't have to speak at that press conference.
I got a.
What you got? Yeah.
Well, a couple of things that I have is there's an offensive lineman who transferred from Beauregard High School to Auburn High. He'll be a senior this year. He's an offensive tackle, 6'6", 270. His name is Eston Harris Jr. Yesterday he narrowed his choices to 5 schools: Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Florida State, and Oregon. And Oregon is becoming one of those schools that are reaching down in the
that's
South.
right. They're trying to get some speed.
The head coach?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's today, Montgomery's 4-star linebacker who plays at Catholic, I believe, T.J. Dudley.
He's a good one.
He's 6'3", 225. He'll decide between Alabama, Oregon, and UCF.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
So there's Oregon again. And,
Yes.
they plucked, they're getting one of the best high school quarterbacks, Oregon is.
Quarterback from
the state of Alabama.
Yeah, Cristobal that used to be at Florida.
Mario,
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah. Who's the quarterback they
He
get?
is a great recruiter.
The quarterback they're getting. Do you remember
Got a
Michael?
kid out of Gordo.
Yeah, kid out of Gordo right there in Tuscaloosa.
It's going out of Gordo and going to Oregon. Golly.
Do y'all see another trend that we're talking about here? The writer for The Athletic wrote a big piece on it. It's the teams that are doing well are great national recruiters. They're not getting all their players from their state. Like when Dad played, 95% of that roster would have been kids from Alabama. You know how many kids from Alabama started in the national championship game of the 22 starters?
It'll surprise you.
Two.
Just two.
Yeah.
But now, Mike, I think I read that this group is a lot more Alabama guys. Is that right? Now
on their roster, they probably have. On their roster that I looked at the other day,
that's right.
there's about 32, 35, 40 players from Alabama, but they're role players or they're backups.
And they're walk-ons.
Or they're specialists.
And they're walk-ons.
Yeah, they're walk-ons. They're on the team. And
But scholarship players, it would be, well, I can see. I look at the recruiting classes each year. There's like 2 to 6 from Alabama. So, there might be 20 scholarship players of Alabama's 85 that are from Alabama.
All right, I want to give you some information now. Is the Brundage 4th of July parade? It normally every year is on Saturday before the 4th. Did they have it this past Saturday?
I'm not sure, but Meeksville is this Saturday. I believe it starts at 10.
And that's got to be quite a parade.
They probably didn't have it last year. Well, they definitely didn't have it last year because of the COVID. But now I think surely it's okay to have a parade. But the NCAA, I guess, would say that no, you got to have your test before you can go to the parade.
But they have a lot of fun at this parade, and it's been going on for years, Boris. And we'll later on we'll give you more information and find out who is the ringleader of this parade.
Okay, we'll try to research that and have that for you.
I didn't realize the U.S. military launched airstrikes against three facilities on the Iraq Syria border. Did y'all know that?
We did. I got it right here.
Give it to us.
Joe Biden conducted ordered airstrikes against facilities used by Iran-backed militia groups near the border of Iraq and Syria. They said that they were targeting and sending drones, launched unmanned aerial vehicle attacks against the U.S. And so yesterday we hit 3 bases, 1 in Iraq and 2 in Syria.
But I'm glad we got to hit back. I tell you.
The irony of that is that they're attacking us, these countries, because they're using drones.
Yeah.
Who has been using drones to fire missiles more than any other country in the world for 20 years?
America.
America. So
you know,
they don't like it when somebody turns around and does the same thing.
See, they see a car riding down the road and got a important person in it. They can just.
They did it. That head of the Iranian army. They just.
Well,
just like that with a drone strike, he was
out of here. Out of here. Yeah.
You know, it's one day. I think we're going to be attacked on our homeland by drones.
Yeah.
Here's my concern: is that yes, one day we're going to be attacked.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Here's why we're going to be attacked, though. It's because people are so upset with us attacking them over in their place. So my position is, leave them alone. Let them run their own areas of the world, and then maybe they won't be as likely to want to attack us in the future. But yeah, well, I don't. America has not declared war against the nation of Syria or Iran, but we're still attacking them.
But you know, and of course we don't know pretty much who our enemy is half the time, do we? You know, can we tell the difference in?
You know, we say that you can, but all these drone strikes that we're now just shrug our shoulders about. Yeah, I bet sometimes they do get terrorists, but they're also getting, you know, the terrorist daughter and wife and, you know, next door neighbor too.
I tell you what, this drone just makes a whole different type war. You're right, they be coming up from everywhere. You know, at least you can sort of try to track the missiles, you know, where they are. But these drones, they can just pop up anywhere.
I'll make a point. You know, aircraft carriers have been the way America shows its force. All nations show their force for, you know, decades.
Yeah.
I've just always thought that you can neutralize an aircraft carrier no problem by just sending about 200 drones with missiles to them.
Yeah. You know, I've always wondered how many missiles would it take to knock out one of our carriers. I mean, it's such a big thing. You know, can one missile knock them out or what?
Yeah, if it hit the right spot, it would.
Now, they must have a good missile defense system on those boats.
I'm just saying you can I mean, it seems like to me it'd be easy to. So that has, at one point, these aircraft carriers are the way we show our force to other nations. We send those aircraft over there, and then we got planes that can hit them. Well, I love to make predictions. They're not going to be able to do that much longer in the future because they're going to be able to neutralize these aircraft carriers.
I want to mention a class reunion that I missed, and I hated that I missed, was the class review 1961, I want to say. It was a class reunion made up of Max Scott, my good friend, and Marvin Blumentritt, and Ronnie Lindsay, and all those guys were my heroes. And I wanted to mention them today on our show. And let's see here what we got.
If y'all go, I want to jump back to food. I went to Claude Giddens. I stayed with Claude and his family Friday night, and I picked Abby up Saturday morning this past weekend. Well, Friday night we went to Pine Mountain and ate at a barbecue place called Three Little Pigs in Pine Mountain, Georgia. Those were the best ribs I've ever put in my mouth.
Where now?
In Pine Mountain, Georgia. Three Little Pigs.
See, I did, you know, I didn't want you to say Sprayberries.
Cool stuff he's got over there.
Well, let's finish this show first.
Isn't Pine Mountain, Georgia, like kind of like the same? What is it? Isn't it like west of Troy, but it's like 1,000 feet high or something?
I'm not sure. It's right there at Callaway Gardens.
Yes,
but, it was sensational.
But I mean, it's like actually a legit mountain though, south of Atlanta. It's like real.
Yeah.
I mean, to be that high up, that far south, is pretty amazing, isn't it?
To finish my deal on 1961 class celebrated for lunch in Troy. It was some of my all-time favorite players played on that team, and it was in the Messenger this week. And also, I want to mention our sponsors. Of course, remember Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks. Nobody beats a Ram deal. And I got every time I pick up the Messenger, I pick up something that talks about what they've got going. And of course, what do they call this right here? They call it the September Spectacular Summer Savings. And they got 144 cars, and they need to sell every one of them, and they'll sell it.
We're talking about Premier. Go to www.premiertroy.com.
You can do it on the computer, or you can go out there and see it. And of course, we appreciate Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks for being big part of this show.
Hey, Mike, Hoss wants to come on the show real quick, I think.
All right, come on up here.
Yeah, I think he wants to make an announcement.
No.
Well, there's only 3 more minutes left. Hoss, you come on in here.
Yeah, but that's just don't. He could have done it from anywhere. Come on in.
Done it from anywhere.
You're right. He sure could. Come on in here, Hoss.
I don't want to sit down. I want to stand up. Mike.
All right. Okay, good.
Guess what we're doing today?
Bicycle.
Did you see all those ladies out there?
Yes, sir.
That was Kelly Sanders. That was Christy Kitchens.
Yes.
And that was Amanda Floyd.
Okay.
And they're going against me, Frankie Saras, and Kevin Baker.
Okay, that's a race between y'all.
It's a race. But guess what? All the proceeds are going to the Miracle League. Nobody gets nothing.
That's great.
I cost you to come up here. You usually get money when people come up here. I want a donation from you.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and I'd like for every one of you out there that's watching this to match me. I'm gonna give you $100. $100 from the Today in LA show.
$100 from the Day in LA show.
Yes, sir.
$100.
Yes, sir.
So,
proud to do it.
You see him, Mike?
Oh boy.
There they go.
Hey, bring them up here. Bring them up here. I tell you what.
Are you raising money?
Do I pick which team?
He probably had $100 fall out of his pocket getting out of the car this morning in the parking lot.
Hey, let me ask this. Do I get to pick which team I'm pulling for? Is that right?
Yeah, my plan just got blown.
Well, I'll tell you right now.
You were cheating.
Kelly, of course, is our beautiful lady up here. Of course, we're so proud that y'all are doing this for the Miracle League, and it's wonderful. And of course, what time y'all gonna do it?
8:30.
8:30. That's in a moment.
And we're riding for an hour, and you can come by any time during the hour and donate to your team.
Okay, good.
The girls or the boys.
All right, I'm a girls team myself. I'll just be honest with you.
You know, Mike. I love you, but 5 minutes ago.
I tell you what.
And I'm going against
you and my buddy Frankie Saras don't have a chance when you got Kelly Sanders running the thing.
All one at the time.
You're going up against her.
Listen, I just hope my bad knee is not as bad as his bad foot.
Well, I tell you what. You know, this Miracle Field is. We were talking about it earlier. Very few towns in anywhere around this part has this for the handicap, and it's a ball field for handicapped people, and it's just wonderful.
100% of everything raised is going to go toward the field.
I mean, we don't get nothing.
But let me tell you this: I'm sorry to say
Are you ready to lose?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say this. I'll tell you this right now. They have a little change. Sanders Truck Lines has just donated $10,000 to your team.
I'm glad you're not the spokesman, folks. Let me go now.
To your team, $10,000.
We're going to have $20,000 at the end.
Hey, you're exactly right. Thank you for that $10,000, though. We really appreciate that.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you watching. We'll be back tomorrow bright and early for Today in L.A.
Do you like pie? Do you like pie?
Oh, God.
Is somebody getting a pie in the